become future stars. Chapter 14. Making Things Simple. For a happy 2 or 3 months, I also had a tiny section of my own, which consisted of half a dozen pairs of huskies and 2 pairs of Arctic foxes. One day, I noticed that one of my foxes had developed a boil at the base of its tail. Phil procured for me some ointment which I had to apply on the boil every day. This was a tedious procedure and one that the fox, being highly nervous, did not enjoy a bit, for it meant that he had to be caught. I did the catching in something resembling a large butterfly net. It had a heavy metal rim padded rather ineffectually with sacking, and the bag was made of coarse fishing net. The actual catching process was fairly easy owing to the fox's set pattern of behavior. As soon as he was rousted out of his den, he would start to run round and round the outer perimeter of the cage at a steady canter. All that was needed was to place the net suddenly just in front of him, and he would run straight into it. One had to be careful, however, for the metal rim, although padded, could be dangerous. On the fourth day, I was just edging the net into position when Billy rode up behind me on his bicycle and suddenly shouted, "Yo-ho," in a falsetto screech. In my surprise, I raised the net a fatal 2 inches so that the fox was caught across his forelegs by the metal rim. There was a noise like a rotten twig breaking as the fox's right foreleg snapped neatly, halfway between elbow and paw. "You idiot," I said to Billy. "Look what you've made me to do." "I'm sorry," I yelled, said Billy, contritely, staring at the fox. "I didn't see what you were doing." "It's Phil's day off, too," I said, "so what am I supposed to do? I can't leave it like this." "Take it to Daddy and he'll set it," said Bill promptly. I suddenly remembered that the captain was a qualified veterinary surgeon, and this seemed an intelligent advice. On examination, I found that the break was a beautiful clean one. It should be easy to set and stood a good chance of healing successfully. When we got to the administration block, we found that the captain had retired to his house for a bath. Both Mrs. Beale and Billy said that the length of time the captain spent in the bath was considerable, and because the need was urgent, he ought to be disturbed. Billy went and battered on the bathroom door. Word meaning: tiny, very small, procured, obtained, contritely, felt guilt, veterinary, of or related to the medical and surgical treatment of animals. "Go away," roared the captain, making noises like 14 frightened hippos trying to extricate themselves from a garden pond. "Go away, I'm bathing." "Hurry up," shouted Billy. "We've got a fox with a broken leg." "No peace," groaned the captain. "There's no peace in this place." "All right, put it in the office and I'll be there." Soon, rosy from his bath, the captain lumbered into the office, followed by Mrs. Beale carrying a huge tin. "Ah, Darrell, it's you, hey," he rumbled. "A fox, hey? Let's have a look." The fox, who had more or less accepted his fate and was lying quietly in my arms, was so alarmed at Captain Beale's size, proximity and rich voice that it opened its mouth in a snarl. The captain stepped back hurriedly. "Hold it," he barked at me. "Get a good grip on its neck." "I have, Captain," I pointed out. Short of decapitating the animal, I could not have held it more firmly. I slid my hand gently under the broken leg and lifted it slightly so that the captain could see the extent of the damage. "Hey," he said, peering through his spectacles. "Nice clean break. That's something. Now, to work. Billy, tell Laura we want her." "She's doing her homework," said Mrs. Beale. "Can't we, Mange, dear?" "No," said the captain decisively, taking the tin from her hands. This is plaster bandage. I need everybody's help. I gazed at the small creature in my arms and wondered what the captain's reaction would have been if it had been, for instance, a giraffe. Billy returned with his sister. Now, Durrell, said the captain oratorically, sticking a thumb under his braces, this plaster bandage is new stuff, why, see? He slapped the tin with his hand and a pale cloud of plaster puffed out and spread over his desk. In the old days, you had to splint, bandage and then much about with plaster of Paris. Messy. Took a long time. I knew that it was time-consuming, messy and in lot of ways unsuccessful, for I had used this method on more than one occasion for birds with broken wings and legs. Now the captain was. Word meaning. Extricate. To set free. Lumbered. To move in a clumsy way. Proximity. Nearness. Decisively. Conclusively. Going to show me a modern method of splinting that would be quick, non-messy and foolproof. I was genuinely interested. This, after all, was what I had come to Whipsnake for, the acquisition of knowledge. The captain lifted the tin and peered at it, shifting his glasses down to the end of his nose. Ram. RMM. Umbliumble, he murmured, reading to himself. Yes, that's clear. Lukewarm water. Gladys. And now you, Billy, cut the hair off the leg. Why? Asked Billy, rather stupidly. Because the plaster won't stick on hair, said the captain, exasperated by such a question. Don't shout, William, you're frightening the fox, said Mrs. Beale anxiously. If you're all going to argue, can I go back and finish my homework? Inquired Laura, complainingly. Having thus deployed his forces, the captain took the lid off the tin and rather uneasily unrolled a yard or two of bandage heavily laden with plaster of Paris. He paced to and fro as he examined this with interest. Most of the plaster of Paris fell on the floor, making the office look as though it was suffering a light snowfall. Then, when Mrs. Beale reappeared with a saucepan full of warm water, the captain got everybody at action stations. Billy, Laura, Gladys, get hold of this bandage, he shouted. In a cloud of plaster, he unraveled some 16 feet of bandage and handed it to his family. Hold it out straight. Out straight, Gladys. You're drooping, that's right, you ready, Durrell? Don't want it breaking loose at the crucial moment, hey? I've got it tight, sir. Good, said the captain, and, seizing the saucepan, he made his way down the length of bandage slopping water on it. Do you see how it works, Durrell? He asked. The bandage acts as a splint. He wound several inches of it round his forefinger to demonstrate. None of the old-fashioned mess, do you see? He said, wagging his finger at me. It was at this moment that things started to become confused. Perhaps the captain had misread instructions, for the bandage round his finger now solidified with astonishing rapidity. So too did the length of bandage held by Mrs. Beale, Laura and Billy, linking them together like a daisy chain. Where are the scissors? Who's taken the scissors? The captain bellowed in alarm. Word meaning. Exasperated, irritated, anxiously, eagerly, deployed, to spread out, troops, so as to form an extended front line. Rapidity, quickness. Billy, in an effort to find the scissors, now knocked the tin onto the floor and it rolled across the office, shading bandage and plaster of Paris in equal quantities. The place was beginning to look like an advanced casualty station in one of the fiercer Napoleonic battles. Useless, roared the captain. Absolutely useless, The whole lot of you. You're supposed to help. At length, the scissors were found and the captain cut them all loose, getting a great quantity of plaster smeared on his spectacles in the process. Then, while Laura and Billy unraveled some more bandage, Mrs. Beale moistened it and the captain, his face still puce-colored, his breathing hard, wound it round the fox's leg. At last, he stood back. "That should do," he said. It was not the most professional piece of splinting I had ever seen, but the captain stood there beaming, his glasses covered with a white rim of plaster, his bald head as white as though it was powdered, and a long strip of bandage wound inextricably round his slipper. "There you are, Darrell," he rumbled in a self-satisfied way. "These modern things make all the difference to the job. Simplify things, do you see? Simplify things." Gerald Durrell. Word meaning: casualty, a disastrous accident. Roared, to utter a loud deep sound. Smeared, made dirty. Inextricably, intricately. Like, share, and subscribe.